Next question, please.
What are your plans for Starlight Rooms?
Who said that? Oh, there. Thank you.
Question about Starlight Rooms. What's your idea for the future?
Do you mean in terms of how they're going to operate? Okay.
And when?
Okay, one of the ideas on the table at the moment is the possibility of inviting tenders for the bars within the football ground, Addison, Starlight and Radford's. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Commercial income.
Okay, next
as well as people coming through this turnstiles.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I'm back again. With a quick question. Sorry. Well, some of you like the other question, so I'm hoping this is just as maybe you didn't like it, but some other people didn't like it. Right, it's directed to Phil. Right, we've had the question about the Articles of Association. I've said to many people that you've said it yourself. You've actually confirmed my fear, in effect. That you've said the Articles of Association are based on what the shareholders make the decision on. And if people have been following what's happened at Rangers, I'm not suggesting you have, but what's happened there is a majority shareholding has changed hands. They're now going to call an EGM and they will throw off people off the board. So my question is, it's very blunt, it's very simple. How much of a percentage of the shareholding do you need to change the board? Because if it's just a majority, or it's a relatively small amount, you don't need much to change those Articles of Association and throw them out the door. Really, so how much of a percentage do you need to change the Articles of Association? That's the only question.
To call a general meeting, I think you need 10% of the shareholders. To pass resolutions, it depends on the nature of the resolution. Some are 50% of the shareholders, some are 75% of the shareholders. I'm not a corporate lawyer, that's my understanding. It will be covered within the initial Articles of Association, which, as I said before, will go through the board and through HUST, which is why, when asked, will it all be done by 1st of March, etc., etc., the answer was, as expediently as possible, but we want to get it right.
It's also, just to finish off that answer, this also goes back to something we said earlier in the evening, is that as much as we try, we simply don't have all the answers. We're not corporate lawyers, and there's various other aspects of our plan that we're not professionally qualified to sort at this stage. We understand that we have to seek help from professional bodies for us to comply with all of the shareholder requirements, director requirements, articles and everything else. So please bear with us. We haven't got all the answers and we're quite happy to put our hand up and say that.
Next question.
Any more questions? Please put your hands in the air over the far side. Thank you. Who's going to be the chairman and what's the time period they stand for?
Again, this has been asked on the frequently asked questions, so I'm struggling to find out the answer that was given there, so I can give the rationale there. But then I'm struggling. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, I just want to get this right, that's all, because obviously it's a question that's been posted before. As leader of the group that has spent several months working on the Hereford Football Club proposal, that has the backing of 3 benefactors willing to put in start-up capital, John has been seen to be the natural choice to be the club's first chairman. And this is based on a combination of time and commitment that he has put into Hereford FC proposal, including building relationships obviously with the local authority, the FA and the HFA. his business experience and also his long-standing support and fundraising efforts for Hereford United Football Club have all been taken into account. Sorry I've read that from script, but I wanted to make sure I'd got our feelings out there in this connection.
Wasn't the answer, was it? He said, how long will he be in the chair for?
Hasn't been decided.
Any more questions for me to chase round over the side? Thank you.
Any more questions? Keith, is someone that row over there? I think. He's on his way.
My question is, last year we were all ready to play and we couldn't get a safety certificate. Do you know how much you need to spend on the ground to get the safety certificate for next season? And have you any plans to do anything with the toilets? They're absolutely disgusting and we've had it up for years. You've got to try and get people back in the ground, and I think it's got to be an enjoyable experience, and some of it is quite awful.
Obviously we haven't got in yet. I mean, the first thing we need to do when the council open the tendering the procedure is to send somebody around, a qualified person, to have a look and see what the state of the ground is and see what needs to be done. I mean, that's our position. You know, we can't put a figure on it because we don't know. You know, we can guess, but it's only a guess. You know, we need a solid answer, and that answer will come from going around the ground and having a qualified person look at it. But the one thing we are going to need is, when we know what the state is and what the jobs are needed doing, we're going to need everybody on hands-on. You know, as many volunteers as we can. I mean, this isn't going to be a few people on a board. This is going to be the whole community working together to get this ground back up to standard, and to get football played so that we can start in August, not only with a decent team on the pitch, but a fantastic team off it as well.
The HUST partnership is a business deal. You're asking the HUST membership to agree that business deal. At the moment, I don't think there's enough information in the public domain. In particular, I would like the Articles of Association to be made public. And I'd like to suggest that the vote of the membership is delayed until that is made available, or at least until the main points, in particular the percentages to change, you know, make whatever they're mentioned. You need to know that information.
I fully understand your remark and the remarks earlier on about the articles. You're talking about a document that, as has already been said, has to be prepared by a corporate lawyer. We're also talking about a situation here where we are putting into place as many all safeguards so that everybody respects what we're doing and trusts what we're doing. It wasn't our decision to close the old club down on the 19th of December. It's not our decision that the FA need an application in by the 1st of March. We have all, as I said earlier on, spent many hours, especially since the 19th of December, getting to this point here. The articles, to a certain extent, was to take your point, sir, earlier about being a company and needing articles, of course. But the articles are something that we can now start to work on, because we've got the plan, we've had this meeting, we hope that the HUST membership will give the mandate to the HUST board, and at that point the HUST board can then be involved in the process of those articles. I'm afraid to say it is a stage-by-stage process, and there are certain things we cannot rush, and there are certain things we will not rush.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, but it would be helpful if a draft or some key points, particularly when the percentages
just a question. With regards to Edgar Street, we know that the towers at the Edgar Street, the floodlights, have got BT mobile phone stands on. Obviously, somebody in the past has paid for those and money has gone to the club. Now the club has gone bankrupt. Can we get, or if you get the leases from the council and you get the ground, can we renegotiate and get some money in from those mobile phone towers?
What happened with the previous regime will obviously be dealt with by the official receiver over the coming months. We haven't been in the ground, we don't know what the situation is, we don't know what contracts are in place, etc, etc. It's too early days on that at the moment, I'm afraid. We simply don't know. And to a certain degree it's irrelevant because future commercial work that we do will be separate to what HUST 39 did, because obviously we're a separate legal entity.
Yeah, but if there's a chance of getting some money in, surely it's worth it.
We will be exploring every single avenue we can for commercial income opportunities. And because of the situation and the complexities with the ground, etc., we haven't included anything for that in our budget at the moment, but obviously it is something we're very mindful of.
Sorry, just before you ask your question, it's nearly 10 o'clock. And I think that if we could just take 2 more questions, we'll take the one that you've got, 1 more question, and then I think it's time to sum up what we've done. So with your indulgence, that's what we'll do. So if you'd like to ask your questions then.
Is Hereford FC a company registered at Companies House?
Yes.
How could you do that without Articles of Association?
Hospital pass number 3.
It was the company was originally set up and taken to take the name, so we could take the name in terms of company, in terms of FA registration, website, domain names, etc, etc. It's a standard off-the-shelf company with probably £100 share capital, I'm guessing, probably 2 nominee directors, etc, etc. That will then be amended. So at the moment it's got bulk standard Articles of Association.
So that's the entity that will sign the lease with Herefordshire Council?
Yes.
Last question. Oh, sorry, sir.
Oh. Sorry, Keith, it's over there on the right.
No, not at all. You've all mentioned at some point tonight the need we're going to have in the future of all goes as planned, the need for volunteer services. Is there going to be some way that we can all find out what volunteer services are required by means of a website or local press?
Again, it's a very good question, and we are extremely aware that we are going to need to lean on supporters to help create Hereford FC into a successful football club. We have spoken about the possibility of, or about the options open to us in terms of volunteer services. But I'll be absolutely honest with you, that conversation hasn't been fully developed as we stand. But even at half-time tonight, I've been approached by 3 different people, all of whom have asked whether they can volunteer their help. We want to make that into a standard procedure, if you like, and make sure that all volunteers are heard and their offers of help are taken up. So if you could bear with us on that one, please do, but we will certainly address it at the very earliest opportunity.
Can you tell us what the contact details are if you want to contact Hereford Football? Is there an email address?
Yeah, there is. There's an email. I'll do that. Right, I think with your indulgence, I think 10 o'clock, it's gone 10 o'clock now, and I think you've all done very well, particularly you chaps down there who sat on the floor, flipping hard floor all the time. Thank you for your perseverance. I think you've done really well, you chaps. Okay, just before we go, we've got the raffle to go through. There's a couple of things. First of all, what we've tried to do tonight is to try and give you a feel for where we are with the development of this proposal. I apologise in advance because it's not complete information. We don't have the articles, etc. There are things here that we are not aware. Sorry, can you stop, Mike? If you 3 meetings at once is a bit tricky. So apologies in advance that we don't have that detail. If you think about the 19th of December, that's when this actually happened. 3 weeks isn't very long to get to the stage that we are now. An awful lot of work was put in advance, but we're now starting to do the real work. So again, apologies, but there is an awful lot to do. Second thing, vote of thanks. I want to thank Keith for running around all over the room with his microphone. Well done, Keith. Always a good supporter of the Trust, and he performs marvellously, so thanks for that. To sum up where we are tonight then, there's a couple of things. First of all, I hope it's given you the chance to get to know us a little bit better and get a feel for what we're trying to achieve with this new football club. I hope you've got a better understanding now than you did when you walked through the door tonight. I hope it will also enable the HUST members to make a better decision when you make your decision in the vote that will take place next week. I'd also like to thank the panel for their contributions and the answers that they've made tonight. It is quite difficult. We have to be very precise, we have to be very accurate in terms of what we try to do, based on sometimes information which at this stage is incomplete. So we've done our best to answer your questions to the best of our ability. And the final thanks, I don't know what the attendance was tonight, but the final thanks must go to you. We as a group would like to thank you for giving up your time to come tonight. Thank you for all that you've done in supporting what we've done. I don't know what the final figure is now, but I watched one of our HUST members sign up the 1,555th HUST member tonight. So, on behalf of HUST and on behalf of the John Hale Benefactors Group, thank you for your indulgence, and good luck to Hereford Football Club going forward. Thank you very much for your